Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all are having a great weekend. I sure am. And I got a video in store for today that I think will be a lot of fun. And it's something that I haven't actually messed with before. And that is the traction control system. And the Corvette C6 actually has 4 different modes. And they are just kind of a different variation of the traction control and the active handling assist mode. And so I kind of wanted to take all 4, and I've never actually messed with all 4 in a row. So I thought, what a better day than this nice, beautiful day outside. Let's do an on-ramp, and in sequence, we're gonna use each of the 4 modes in a row. And I'm gonna get an idea of just exactly how each mode feels as I kind of rip up this on-ramp. And then I can kind of give you guys an idea of what I think of each mode, and we can go from there. But first, let's discuss what each mode is. And the first one is active on and traction control on. That's when you start the vehicle, it puts both of those in automatically. The reasoning for that is your average driver probably should keep those on for most of the time. Now, if you're tracking the car, a lot of people will do the last mode, and we'll get to that. But for your average driver in most conditions, just leave both on. Now, the next mode, if you hit the traction control, there's a little button that you'll see once. It is going to take traction control is still going to be on, but active handling is going to be reduced, which means you can kind of swing the car out a little bit more. The third mode is still traction control on, but then it's completely no handling assist mode at all. So it's just traction control, only wheel spin. So if you start sliding, you're gonna pretty much be able to slide as much as you want for the most part. The only thing is the engine management system, as you start to spin, is going to start to kick in and reduce power. The last actual mode that there is what you guys are probably guessing, and that is off everything. And that's if you hold the button for 5 seconds, you're gonna have traction control off, you're gonna have active handling off as well. This is what a lot of people, when they're tracking the car, they want only their skills actually being used. They don't want the car to step in on them. They wanna do everything themselves. So I thought this would be kind of a fun video, and we're gonna give it a try and see what each mode feels like. I've driven with like the competitive mode. I've never actually turned everything off. So I do have to be careful, but I still think it'll be a lot of fun. I think the car will still be manageable as long as you're smart with it. So let's go ahead and get in the vehicle and we will get started. We are in the Corvette, and to kind of make this as close as possible and recreate everything, we're gonna use the same on-ramp every single time. So, you know, there's no kind of, it's gonna be the same angle, same launch and everything. I'm not actually gonna launch it, I shouldn't say. I'm actually gonna kind of press out of first and really get on it. And I'm gonna start in the regular mode. The first mode I'm pretty familiar with. It's the one that I pretty much always drive in. So I kind of already know how it's gonna react, but to give me the best possible understanding of how it goes, again, I'm gonna launch it in that one, and then I'm gonna make a loop around, and I'm gonna come back and then hit it in the second mode, the third mode, and the fourth mode. And then I'm gonna give you guys an idea of, you know, how I think of each mode. Now, the one thing about the video is it's gonna be hard for you guys to tell. It's always hard in videos to express how you feel and, you know, the relationship with the car and how you feel the slipping and the acceleration. So you guys don't quite get that. So you're gonna have to take my word for how I feel as I go up the on-ramp per mode. Coming up on the on-ramp, so I'm actually gonna slow down here. And I'm in regular mode first. We're in first. Straightened out here. Hit it. Alright, little slip, but it really corrected me. Okay, so pretty much no play. For a second, I had a little bit of spin. Like, it immediately cuts in. You can feel it immediately cut in and cut your power. So you really don't have all that much time to play with it. It just immediately cuts in and goes, nope, 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 something's going on. You need to recorrect itself, and it pretty much takes fully over. I didn't even get, it was pretty much at the top of first gear, and as I hit second, that means I was that much slower and I wasn't that deep in the RPM range. It does affect how quick you can, you know, get up to speed, but it also is there again to kind of save you if you overexert yourself on, you know, the launch. So we're gonna move back around and we're gonna change it over to the next mode, which is gonna be traction control is still on, but the mode for active handling is gonna be changed. Okay, so we are getting turned around here. We have like, I kind of have a loop I can go to the next exit and then come back around, and this one's actually a roundabout. I do have to be careful because it's a really nice day out today, and I actually went out and grabbed lunch, and it is swarming with cops out here. They are out today, and lots of nice cars are out today, so that's probably why they are looking for people like me right now. Maybe I can just tell them I'm filming a YouTube video and they will understand. Highly doubtful. Maybe they'll subscribe. That would be pretty cool. So let's make this crazy roundabout. And I've got it in the next mode, which is going to keep pretty much everything on. All right. Actually, that gave me a smoother launch. I could feel, the funny thing is with that system off a little bit more, I could feel that it was giving me a little bit more, and the power wasn't cutting out, so it's not as, it doesn't chirp as much. It's not the power management cutting in and out as much. I felt a little bit smoother, actually. I felt more in control, actually. So, and I pushed that pretty hard. I mean, that's up towards red line through second gear, and pushing it into third. Since my next exit is so quick, I have to make sure that I'm slowing down for the next exit. And people can merge onto, but my merge on actually stays the lane for my next exit. It never disappears, but people are merging over, so I gotta be wary of that when I come up flying it over 100 miles an hour. I hear them. Wonder if they hear me. Yep, they're somewhere. Alrighty, so we're gonna change it over to the next mode, which is gonna be now, so remember, first mode was everything on. Second mode that we just did was where regular mode was still on, traction control, but then the active handling was pulled back. Now this is the third mode. Active handling is fully off, so it shouldn't step in as much as I start to get sideways. It shouldn't, it just shouldn't be as noticeable. And I'm not really worried about this one as much, just because this does more so deal with the cutting in only when you start going sideways. It's not as much the traction control. There is actually a way to turn the traction control off, and I think leave the active handling on. But for this purpose, I don't think it's really needed, because active isn't going to do that much, as I'm more worried about the traction. But all right, so we're coming in to the bend. I'm in third. I'm going to roll into it. Okay, it's the third one. That, to be honest, felt quite a bit like the first one. That was not, felt pretty comfortable. I did not feel, I could feel that as I started to get loose and I was hammering it, that if I would have not kind of corrected myself, my back end did feel like it was going to start going a little bit more out, but it wasn't a really big fishtail. So obviously, you know, that type of speed, I don't want to be fishtailing anyways, but it didn't feel too much different than the other mode. Yeah, so that mode was called competitive driving mode. And again, it felt good. Actually, both of those modes, 2 and 3, have felt better than the first one when I launched it. So this is the only mode, got a green light here. So this is the only mode that I guess I'm a little bit worried about. I've never really driven all, everything all off hardcore. Like, I've driven around town a little bit, pressed into it a little bit, but I've never launched the vehicle pretty much as hard as I can with both systems off. And so that'll be interesting. Again, I need to be careful with it because you can get into some trouble. And again, the biggest thing is I really need new tires. I've said that multiple times, and I've been just delaying it. Shoot, I'm even talking about a different mod, and yet I have not got new tires. I really need new tires. So that's probably having an effect on it, so I need to be extra cautious on this last launch as we come up the on-ramp. But I am going to step into it, and I'm going to go ahead and turn both of them off. So what you do is you hold it down for 5 seconds. Okay, so it gives me a light that says traction system and active handling is off. So again, this last mode should be the mode that completely turns everything off. I should have full reins over everything. So I'm gonna have to make sure that I'm really paying attention. And it looks like there's no cars this time. So I'm gonna make this turn, this U-turn. I'm gonna roll down into second, or first. And I'm gonna get a little straightened up here and really push it. I actually lifted off a little bit. I could feel how squirrely the car was getting, and it was just gonna let me keep doing it. It did not cut in. I could tell it was, man, it definitely feels, I will say, especially from the first to the last mode, the last mode feels different than the second and third modes. I could definitely tell with that traction all the way off and active handling all the way off that it was definitely different. But at the same time, from the first mode, it's entirely different. The first mode I didn't let off, but the engine cut out and it was kind of abrupt. The fourth mode felt like that, but it's kind of because I started to let up off of it because I could feel me losing traction, but yet it felt different because it wasn't stepping in. It wasn't me foot down and then, okay, I feel safer. It was me foot down like, oh, it's me. It's my decision to keep things in check. Alrighty, everybody, we are back. Got the Corvette back in the garage. That was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy that. It was interesting to see the difference between the modes. I do truly feel like I could tell a difference, especially first through the fourth mode. Obviously, going from all nannies on to all nannies off is a huge change, so I probably should. But I had never really launched it that hard in that setting, so it was a lot of fun, but I can see where you definitely have to be safe with it and know what you're doing and take your time. Make sure it's not cold outside. Make sure you're paying attention, and also make sure that the police are not within sight, especially if you have a loud exhaust, because they are going to hear you and they're going to grab you. But no problems today. Got back safe and everything. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.